sure you want to post that? It's gonna be online forever.
Nice.
Yay!
Hello.
Hi, Kira. We
Hi.
have the amazing and beautiful Kira Noir on today, and I'm so excited.
I had to wear all black. It felt wrong not to. Kira makes me a little goth girl.
Good. You look really cute, goth.
What's going on, Kira?
Cute.
How's your morning been?
I'm doing a lot today.
Mhm.
So people ask me a lot if I work a lot. Usually it's either I'm doing all of the things or I have absolutely nothing planned. And this day was supposed to be a totally free day that just got completely filled to the brim with shit. So I'm doing this, and then I have to go do a girl for a studio, and then I need to go do a girl for OnlyFans.
Wow.
And I only have a certain amount of time to do all those things. And then if I can get everything done, I get to go to haunted house horror maze stuff at the end.
Oh,
Cute.
Mhm.
Is it
That's
like one of the
nice.
like legitimately like fuck up your life and dreams
I
type
don't
of?
know. I've never actually been. So interestingly enough, I've been to Queen Mary's once, but the first time I tried to go, it was a couple of years ago, and I was dating this porn guy at the time, and we were shooting with this girl that lived in Long Beach, and he wanted to try shooting up his dick for the first time before we went to go do the shoot. And it made sense. We were like, let's do it for one of our own content scenes instead of doing it on set.
Yeah.
And like, in case you don't like it, whatever. And so he
or you
shot
have to
up.
go to the hospital.
He had to go to the hospital.
Oh!
At first it was fine. He shot up before we left. We went to Long Beach. We were shooting this at the time. I'm old, so we were like shooting for Snapchat. So we were like shooting a bunch of Snapchat stuff, and we were making fun of it. He was rock hard. He was slapping his dick around. We were all laughing about it. And then it came time to go because we got plenty of content, and we were supposed to go meet up with my friends. And I had just started dating this guy, so it was like he was going to meet my friends for the first time at Queen Mary's, and we get there and his dick still wasn't going down, so he was texting his friend that he got the stuff from, and he was like, take some sort of cold medicine, do some laps around the parking lot, get your heart pumping, and that'll like make the blood rush to other areas.
Okay.
And so we tried doing that, but we were like, it was a long ass line to get in. He was just getting more and more irritated because it was getting more and more uncomfortable. And by the time we got in, my friends are all the way at the other side of the park, and so we were trying to find each other, and our signal wasn't great, so it was just a clusterfuck of trying to figure out where they were. But when we finally spotted them, I like ran up to them and was like, "Oh my god, hi, nice to meet you. Let me introduce you to my boyfriend." And then he just grabbed me and he was like, "We gotta go," and like ran out. And as we were trying to leave, one of the security people recognized me and tried to stop and say hi, and he was just pushing me out. So my friends were texting me and they were like, "Is that guy abusing you?" I had a fan that was tweeting at me being like, "Kira, are you okay?" Because they just saw some guy dragging me out. And we went to the emergency room, and yeah, by the time he finally saw a doctor, it had gone on for too long, and they had to drain the blood out of his dick. So I didn't get to go see Queen Mary's. I get to actually go today.
Does it just like it's
have
like the
so
boner
many
goes
questions.
on? Yeah, like it just goes on so long that it just inevitably becomes painful.
Well, yeah, it's basically an allergic reaction at that point. Whenever you, so I want to back up a little bit for people who don't know. There is a way to keep your dick hard that's not Viagra, Cialis. It's an injection thing. That's all I know, really. I don't know what it's called. I've seen a lot of people do it, but the idea is you inject your dick. It gives you a mild allergic reaction. That way more blood rushes there and you're just rock hard, but it's supposed to fade and go away. Some people are more allergic to this substance than others, and that's when you get the erection that lasts longer than 4 hours, and it's a problem. If you can treat it quickly, they can just basically inject you with an antihistamine and make it go away. But if it's going on for too long, they have to drain the blood out from the penis
Wow.
with a big ass needle.
Wow.
It was
the visual
really
of
interesting.
of y'all in the parking lot was like, I was seeing him being walked by his hard dick. Like, being walked by it. It was like,
It was more like he was trying to jog with one arm over it. Just trying to get his heart pumping around the parking
and
lot.
like, you're introducing him to your friends, and his dick's on rock. And he's like, Kira, we gotta go now. I need you. Your friends are like, oh my
sex
God.
was the last thing on his brain at
Of
that
course.
point. I almost wish I had a dick. 'Cause I want to know what it's like to have a boner
So
without
bad.
it being a mind thing. Because at least with Viagra and Cialis, the way people have described it to me, you still need to be thinking of something sexy. It doesn't give you a
Okay.
boner. It just
Oh.
helps with the blood flow. So if you can think of sexy things, more blood will go there than a little bit normal. But with the injection, it just gives you a hard on. And you can be completely uninterested in sex and you will still be bricked the fuck up. So
Whoa.
it's an entirely different scenario. And I'm so curious about what it feels like. We don't have anything like that for clits. I got one of these little gummy things. It's supposed to be like the gas station rhino pills, but for vaginas. And I haven't tried it because I'm a little scared, but I really
You're
want
like,
to.
is this an amphetamine?
Yeah.
Who knows?
Yeah. We were thinking about taking Viagra and
For
then
an
doing an
episode.
episode being like, we're on Viagra.
I think you should do it. Report back to me, please.
We'll just start doing push-ups. We have a push-up competition, arm wrestling.
We should just have like a bowl of Viagra that we can all... Wait, I guess
That's expensive. That sounds expensive.
I was like, that's incriminating.
I don't
You're,
think
like,
we have
too
that in the
much
budget.
So me and Kira met because I DM slid her and she responded, which was a really insane experience in my life. Because I was like, did she mean to? Yeah, I was like, did you mean to respond to me?
Yes, you were cute. A cute girl slid in my DMs. Was like, wanna fuck? I was like, yes.
Is that what you
said? No, but
Yeah, more or less.
she's like, would you
Yeah.
want to shoot some OnlyFans stuff together? I'm like, yes. Yes, I do.
Cute.
It was so fun.
We did a hotel scene in
Yeah.
Vegas, and then you introduced me to Kazumi.
Oh yeah.
And also Emma.
Yeah. And then less than a year later, we all went to Europe together, which was also very
Whoa.
like, I was like, okay, life's officially crazy.
Yeah.
Yes.
Is it fun or still nerve-wracking for you to just slide into people's DMs and ask to shoot?
At this point, it's just kind of a fun game, I would say. And like, I expect nothing. So still, because I'm like, I just always feel like I'm punching, which is maybe my version of imposter syndrome, which I don't really identify with that much, but I'm just like, no one wants to collab with me. So when someone does, I'm like, what? But I enter a different, like, parallel universe. This is great.
You gotta shoot your shot. Everyone checks their DMs.
Yeah, everyone checks their
Everyone
DMs.
checks their DMs.
If you've DM'd me more than 3 times in a row and I haven't responded, I promise you have seen it. And silence is a way of saying that I'm not interested.
Yeah.
Well, oh, okay. I sometimes won't respond to people because I don't know when I'm going to be free, and I don't want to respond until I can give a definite yes. And I've had to like tell my guy friends that 'cause sometimes they'll just try
like
to shoot as
personal.
many messages to girls as possible, and for guys it's even harder because some girls don't do boy girl or they don't check the messages as much, or don't want to work with a guy they've never seen in person before. All very valid reasons, but they'll get discouraged and like, oh, she's ignoring me. It's like she's ignoring you, or she's waiting until she can actually give you a response.
Yeah.
And,
For sure. Yeah, no shade.
Yeah, it's weird when they get upset when you don't respond. It's like, oh, well, I kind of didn't want to fuck you before, and now you're never going to ever be around me.
Oh, yeah, that's a huge boner killer. I've had that happen with dates, too, where if I'm not the best when it comes to texting in general, a lot of times I'll get distracted and I'll just be like, I'll think to myself, like, when I finish this one task, then I'll go and text that person back. And then I'll finish that task and then I'll have to do something else and do something else. And then it's been
3
5
months.
hours and 3 months. And there's also times where when I finally have a moment to respond, it's like 2 a.m. And then I don't want to be annoying and send somebody a text at 2 in the morning. So I'm like, okay, I'll wait until tomorrow when everybody's awake. And then I forget again. And it's a lot.
Oh, yeah, okay,
but-
here's something about Kara. She's literally the most considerate person in the world. It's like, if you
I
can't
can
already
feel
tell
that. No,
I
I can
know.
feel it.
It like
It
whenever I
radiates.
hang out with you for long periods of time, I'm like, I have to reconsider how I treat everyone and everything in my life.
It's so
which
good
is
to have
great.
people like that
Yeah.
around you. Yes.
But
Love that.
I think I've gone like weeks without texting you back too.
Yeah.
It's yeah. I'm bad at it.
The thing
fine.
is that like
Nothing's personal.
we shouldn't be so easily accessible, and like
Yeah.
just because we have these psychic squares around us all the time doesn't mean that like yes, you texted someone, you know that they've seen it. Like everyone looks at their phone, right? But like it doesn't mean that you have to respond right away, and being so easily accessible is so stressful and is a big like screwdriver in the way of a lot of easy communication.
I concur.
Would you think it was weird if you had a friend that sent out a mass text that basically said, hey, from now on, if you text me and I've seen it, but I don't have time to respond, I'm going to send you this emoji. And that just means like, I see you, my friend, and I will respond when I can and remember and all of that. Would that be strange? Because I've been considering doing that
Interesting.
just so I don't keep leaving people hanging. I want to make sure that
They're like acknowledged.
yeah, like this is an acknowledgement of just like, I'll send an owl. If you get the owl, that just means I've seen it. I just can't respond right now. So like, hold on.
I think that we personally should try this out and see how it goes because I'm very curious about this now. I like the thought.
Yeah, it's a good thought. What like do you have your read receipts on?
No, I don't.
I do, and I like to like if I've read it, and I've read it. But if it's delivered, I haven't gone there yet. So, and if I've read it and I haven't responded, then that's on me. But like, I like that as a way, but I think people just find it to be rude no matter what. Like if you have your red receipts on.
Yeah.
Isn't that like a red flag?
Yeah.
I like that you have yours on.
Thank you.
I don't know why it brings me comfort.
Right? Yeah,
Yeah.
it's like, I've seen it. I've seen you.
Yes.
I've read you.
Yes.
Yeah, but communication is hard, and having friends and maintaining relationships in general is difficult for humans.
Yeah, like I said, I'm just kind of swamped with shit right now. And I know that next month and December is not going to be nearly as busy. I just have nothing but shit. Like, so I wanted to do this with you, and I know that you rented the studio, so I didn't want to like cancel whenever you've paid money to be here. And then I didn't think I was going to be doing a studio scene. There was a miscommunication between me and my agent, and so it was like, yes, you are working tomorrow, but the call time's not until the afternoon. So if you have something in the morning, it should be fine. I was like, okay, great.
Perfect.
And then the girl that's in Long Beach, she only shoots like every now and then, so she got tested for me. And I asked her if she's okay with an evening shoot, and she said yes. So I was like, great, okay, so I can do that. And then the shoot that I was supposed to have in the afternoon got moved up a little bit. So it's just like, I agreed to too many things today. I should have said no to somebody early on. But I like when I said yes to everybody, I thought I had the day wide open, and then it was just like all at once.
I'm starting to feel entitled because I'm like, if I don't have like a little piece of my day that's for me, I do feel like kind of crazy when I go to bed. But it's nice to have full ass days, just not all the time.
How much do you sleep?
I'm an 8 hours a night kind of a guy.
What
about you?
I get like 6.
Freaky for that. That's
six
truly
is
freaky
still
shit.
no 6 is still good, I think.
That's my goal.
Some people are rocking like 3.
Yeah.
My agent swears that he sleeps like 3 to 4 hours a night. And I kind of believe him just because he has a reputation for decades of just always being reachable. Like he'll jump out of the shower to respond to a call or text or email. Like you can call him. I know I can text or call him any time of night because even if he doesn't get to it right away, like I'm not bothering him. He's probably going to be up late and waking up early.
And that's why he has this amazing reputation, honestly. Like being a workaholic is really great for your reputation. Unfortunately.
No, that's the problem. Like I don't want to say no to the studio scene because I want to keep a good working relationship with the studio. So I don't want to just come off as flaky, and I just I'm working for like the next 2 weeks straight, and then I'm going to a rave. Oh yeah, rave! Yeah, so that'll be my like little mini vacation. I'm really looking forward to it. Like I keep wearing like just assless chaps to raves because I don't want to fully commit to just wearing a bikini, but I want people to see my ass. So
I'm wearing pants. Still.
I'm wearing pants. It's pretty respectable, but booty. So.
Did y'all ever get in trouble for dress code in school growing up?
Weekly.
Same.
But it was the dumbest shit. I swear to fucking God, dude. I went to a school that wanted to be a private school so bad, but we were all poor, so they couldn't get us uniforms. So they just did like really, really strict dress code where it had to be solid color shirts with collars.
No.
You had to have your shirt tucked in. You couldn't wear jeans. It had to be navy, khaki, or black slacks. No logos that were bigger than 2 inches. Just like really fucking strict dress code. I got dress coded because I wore, whenever the first year that they implemented this, I didn't know that they were going to be doing this. And so I wore this floor length dress with little flowers on it. And I got sent to the office and told that I couldn't go back to class unless I got my parents to come bring me a change of clothes because my clothes were inappropriate.
And then you've worn black ever since.
I started fucking with it because I was like, okay, I was just sort of dressing like a really slutty schoolgirl every day, like the really short pleated skirts and just like push-up bras. I had no boobs back then, but I was like stuffing my bra and like wearing push-up bras and heels and stockings. But that was okay because it was technically in dress code. And I was so pissed off about it. I was like, how do you guys not see this is stupid?
Leave it to Kira to like highlight the hypocrisy via performance art in high school.
Absolutely. I just feel like the dress code has never ended. Like Zuckerberg has inflicted this on us forever, infinitely. Like,
well, have you guys had normal jobs? I've never had a normal job.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you have dress codes at your normal jobs?
When I worked in a school, I definitely like... I was like way more dykey and more masculine presenting at the time, so it was kind of easier for me to just be like flannel.
I don't have a body under this.
Yeah, there's no body, there's no person because I'm dying inside. But yeah, never an office job. Have you ever worked in an office?
No, I've been on the brink a couple times, but I just could never commit. But I do find the concept of office wear like pretty appealing because like I very much feel like with making content and making porn and stuff, like my makeup is like such a like one of the only ritualistic parts of my life at this point in time, which is kind of sad. But like I very much like enter into like the world that I need to be in when I put on my makeup. And I feel like office wear is sexy and could have a similar effect.
Corporate goth is a really great look. So I feel like I could do that. And there's like pencil skirts and those shiny blouses, the button-up ones, and the stockings. That's a hot look. I have that outfit just because I've played a secretary or assistant or a teacher so many times. So if I ever need to go to court or an office, I have an outfit to pull that's technically appropriate. But that just goes to show, like, I think that people should be able to wear dresses that don't have sleeves and have it not be inappropriate, because that's just, it's stupid and arbitrary. I've never had a normal job, and I kind of worry about not even re-entering, but just entering for the first time the mainstream workforce.
Yeah, because you've never, ever done the thing.
No. The closest I've ever had to a real job was babysitting when I was a teenager, and my grandma had a catering company, so sometimes I would help her mix giant salads and wash dishes afterwards. But
Giant salads.
yeah, giant, like gigantic bowls for like a party of people.
Whoa.
And just mixing all the greens and
You were
stuff
tossing
together,
salad way back.
You were tossing your grandma's salad way back?
No,
Sorry.
there's a line, and we found it.
Kira doesn't like incest.
No, I don't.
I told you it's a white person thing.
Yeah.
Sydney.
It is.
Yeah.
I've gone over this.
I have a lot of friends who get booked for the incest stuff a lot because they're white and look innocent, and it's just what they go for those things. And I'm really grateful that I'm black sometimes, just because like I get the black stepdaughter things sometimes, but really not all, like at all. I think that maybe I've done like 20 incest scenes my entire thing. There was a really fucked up
so
one that
many.
was fun.
I know. I was like, that's a lot.
I've been doing this for like a decade though, so
Yeah.
it's
They're
very spread out. Yeah.
Right. It's a small percentage.
Yeah. No, there's one that I did for kink.com where they actually tried to give me somebody who kind of looked like my brother. It was Mickey Maud. And the storyline was that Mickey, Maud, and I were brother and sister, step-brother and sister that grew up together and had like a sub-dom relationship.
Okay.
And then he went off to college and he meets this girlfriend who was Lee Raven. And then he brings her back home to meet the family for the first time. And because I'm insane, I like convince our parents to leave, and then I'm just being a bitch to her. Like I slapped her with my hair, like turning away from her and stuff. And then he like tries to calm me down by like fucking me real good. And then he goes away for porno reasons. And then I go to her and I'm like, "You're not good enough for my brother." And I beat her up. And then he like walks in on me doing things to her, and he's like, "What the fuck?" And I'm like, "But I love you." And then he fucks the both of us because
Harmony.
porno logic.
Yeah.
I love hearing about your porno plots that just like are inspired by us talking about like regular life events. One time, Kira asked me like what kind of porno I would make if I could make any porno for myself, and I was thinking about it, and I was like, I still am in this mode where I'm like interested in doing like really like silly crazy plot lines that are like a movie or something. And I was like, I've been thinking about doing like a space porno, like a Barbarella kind of thing.
Yes.
And Kara was like, "Oh, I've been in a space porno," and then just like pulls it up, and it's like this honestly very high production, like super aliened out, like
Cool.
I know, right? Just like casual. I feel like we can name like any fucking topic, and you'd be like, "Yeah, I've done that."
Try naming something crazy.
Okay, fucking somebody who has 6 legs.
Fuck. No. I was thinking like maybe like if I fucked a spider costume person or something. No.
Yeah, that would be like they would need CGI. Obviously, you can't like just make that
farm
happen.
porn.
Farm porn? Yes.
Nice.
Good. Wait, you've done it already?
I've been a farmer. I've also done a plot where my dad had a farm and he owed money to this bad man, and the bad man comes to our farm, and I'm like, "Please don't take my daddy's farm." And so he's like, "Well, what are you gonna do for me?" And then he beat me up and fucked me. It was Tommy Pistol for kink.
I think this is like your dream. Is that your dream scene?
Literally, if only it was my dad.
I'm pretty sure it was called "Do It for Daddy," but
Do it for daddy's farm.
Do it for daddy. Do it for farm dad. Wow. You are literally Rule 34 in a person.
What does that mean?
Like if it exists, there's a porno of it.
Oh. I've never heard that before.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, there's like a rule34.com, and you can go type in. It's like a search engine for porn. You can type in anything.
There's also a subreddit for it.
Whoa, that's cool. It's the internet.
Kira, I have a question for you that I'm interested in. So like, this is like cringy of me, but I feel like whenever we chat, like you'd start telling me about these things that are just like part of your life in the industry as a Black person, and I'm always just like in shock, like, what do they do to you? That's crazy. So one of the questions I want to ask that's like, I guess kind of in that vein, and I just want to hear about your perception of it or your experience of it, is like, how is like marketing and just like the porn world like different for Black women and Black women and Black men? Because like I'm like, when I think of male porn stars who are successful, a lot of them are Black. And I don't think it's the same dynamic for like female porn stars in a lot of way.
So with Black male performers, I feel like it gets skewed a little bit because people will see these guys that are being held up with these black shoots and like doing all these crazy things, and like they're being applauded for having the biggest dick and being so tall and muscular and all that kind of stuff. But the other side of that is, if it's an average height, average dick size Black guy, he has zero chance in porn, or at least like maybe now with OnlyFans and things like that, they'll be able to do it. But for the last couple of years at studio porn, they were completely not interested. Ricky even was told a couple of times that he wasn't dark enough to be on interracial shoots because what they're looking for is the super tall, super
Contrast,
dark,
like...
gigantic dick Black man and like the little white girl. So it's a really heavy contrast. So you'll see these Black performers getting really famous because interracial is really popular, but you have to fit a very narrow, specific type in order to even have a chance. And then on the other side of that, with Black women, we don't really get to have like the same dynamics for interracial scenes. With interracial for porn, typically that means Black man, non-Black woman. With Black women, sometimes our scenes are labeled as ebony, even though some people think of ebony more as like Black on Black. But we don't charge more to shoot with white men like how white girls will charge more to shoot with Black men. We will sometimes not even know that it's like an interracial focused scene until after it comes out. Like I remember one time I had this fantastic massage scene with one of my friends. It was one of our first times getting booked together, and we were having a lot of fun, and it was just like a cutesy little like, oh, I'm really horny, and da da da. It was a great shoot. We really enjoyed it. And then when it came out, we were both on the cover, and the title was "My White Masseuse," and then the tagline was "These Black girls go crazy for white dick," and we didn't.
Like that wasn't even present there.
No, like there's no discussion about either one of our races. The entire shoot, not in doing paperwork, none of that. So it's just a little bit weird. And I've also heard other Black girls, talking about shooting with girls who are doing showcases and being told while you're on set, like, yeah, I requested you for this because I really wanted to shoot with you, and thinking it's all good and all normal, and then the showcase comes out and it's this little white girl doing all Black people because she's hungry for Black, and it's just weird that they don't tell us sometimes before it comes out, because there are some people who are into that. I'm very much I'm not going to kink shame as long as it's safe, sane, and consensual. I hate race play. I think it's gross, and I wish it was not made. But if everybody involved is okay with it, then fine, I guess. And so there are Black performers who are cool with it or even into it. Just fucking tell us before you put it out there like that, because then what happens is my fans think that I'm super into it. I have people who accuse me of hating my own race because I do so much interracial porn. And whenever it's with studio work, I rarely get booked with Black men because what they usually want Black men for is doing interracial scenes. What they usually want Black women for is doing interracial scenes. And then I meet my friends through working, and I end up doing shoots with them for OnlyFans. Sometimes I'll try to contact other Black guys, and shit happens. They don't get back to me, whatever. Or like a couple of years ago, it was just not very common to shoot your own stuff anyway, so it was harder. And then the fans will say like, oh, because you're only working with white people, you must only like white people. You did this movie that was, all about that Black ass. These Black girls can't get enough white dick, so this must be your kink. And it's like, no,
I didn't want this.
That's how they chose to advertise it. Now it's getting a lot better with the rise of OnlyFans. Like I got to work with Dredd, which is amazing.
Yeah.
For the longest time, he was working with Jules Jordan a lot. I almost never got booked by Jules Jordan. I think I've done one Jules Jordan scene my entire career. And they're just using him for interracial stuff. So we were never going to get booked together. It wasn't going to happen. Then I was doing more of my own shoots, but he wasn't doing any sort of content trade stuff. So I couldn't get a hold of him. And then finally, it's just this like last 2 years or so, we're both doing it, and we both are aware of each other, and we're just trying to line our schedules up, and we were finally able to have fun. But even then, the fans got mad. Because I was afraid to do anal with him, because for those who don't know, Dredd is the biggest dick that has ever dicked. Just absolutely long, absolutely massive thickness, and just, he's crazy large. So I was afraid of doing anal. You were the one that told me that he was very sweet. and not to worry too much about doing vaginal with him, so I decided to give it a shot. He is very, very nice, and we had a fantastic shoot. And the way he shoots is doing things in segments. Like, first we're going to do blowjob, then missionary, then doggy, and just cutting in between each one, taking little breaks. So for the last shot, he was like, "You're going to suck my dick. I'm going to throw my legs up. We're going to do some rimming. And then I'm going to put my legs back down. You keep sucking my dick until I come." It's perfect. Started sucking his dick, started dirty talking. He was getting really into it. I was getting really into it. And he came early because we were having a good time. And fuck it, we was Foley fans, so we don't have to listen to some director yell at us because we didn't follow the formula exactly. We continued talking afterwards, had a really long, great conversation, put the scene out. And then people were like, "Kira, you didn't do anal and you didn't rim him, which means you hate black men." Because everyone else that works for Dredd, they do anal and they lick his ass. And you've licked white guys' asses before. So the only reason you didn't do it with him is because you're a racist. It's just like,
Wow,
we
projection.
had a good time. Like, we had a good shoot. So there's just, sometimes you just can't win.
Yeah, have you ever had your fans be like, "You did this because you're white," or like, "You did this because of this like racial reason"?
I have a lot of my like white male fans are like, "Why do you only sleep with black men?" And I'm just like, that's literally not even what's fucking happening. You're being so silly right now.
It's just like men have very specific insecurities. It all goes down to their dicks, I think, and they just project.
Mm-hmm.
I don't ever get any comments like this from my gal or gay fans.
Yeah, they're like, "Please do whatever makes you happy."
Yeah.
Please.
Yeah.
What kind of porn do you like to see? Like, whenever you watch porn, what do you watch?
I like group stuff a lot.
I do like group stuff. I like if I'm feeling like tender, I need massage porn.
Love getting into massage porn. I like kinky, I like kink, and I like kink.com, and I like BDSM porn.
Yeah. Yeah. I do like a good like airtight gangbang just because like I've never done anything close to that. So it feels like this like wild fantasy. Whereas like in high school watching lesbian massage porn was like, I'd never slept with a girl, and it was like my ultimate fantasy. So I feel like we watch things that we don't do sometimes.
Yeah.
What about you, Kira? I'm very curious about your
me
your
too.
kinks.
What do
I
you
used to
watch?
love gangbang porn until I started doing gangbang porn.
Oh, yeah.
It's not like it's terrible. It's just knowing what goes into it. Where
You see it all then.
The fantasy is that all these guys are so horny, they all need you right now.
Right.
And that's super hot. The reality of it is everyone's just desperately trying to have their heart on, and it's like a group of dudes who are trying to just jerking it. I'm just waiting for the things to start, and then it's like, okay, who wants to anchor? Fine, fuck, I'll do it. And like whoever's on the bottom is just like hating life. There's one gangbang that I did. It's the one where I met the guy that ended up having to go to the hospital for shooting up his dick. But anyway, they were all friends with each other. There was the guy who's anchoring is the guy that's on the bottom during like the airtight and stuff. So like he's holding it all together. And so there's a guy anchoring. I was in cowgirl, so the anchor was in my pussy. Then there's somebody behind me in my ass. I had a dick in each hand, and then I was trying to suck dick. We were out on a couch, so there's a guy like behind the couch who was fucking my mouth. And because he was fucking my mouth, and I had like my hands already occupied, and there was like a little bit of deep throat stuff, there's just a river of spit that was going. And I see, like, I'm looking up at the dude whose dick I'm sucking because I'm trying to keep eye contact during a blowjob because I'm a good slut. And I just see him, his head was cut off by the camera. He knew this. And so he was looking down at the guy who was anchoring, and he was like, "Bro, I'm so sorry." And then I looked down and I realized that the river of spit is just landing right on the guy who's anchoring, and his face is just he was just trying to stay in it, and like knowing that it's that difficult for the guys makes it a little bit less sexy to me now, just because it's I wonder while I'm watching it, I'm just micro analyzing everything of like okay, that guy flinched a little bit, is he actually having a good time, or is he like so with gangbang stuff now I know if it's amateur gangbangs, those dudes actually want to be there. There was a site a while back where they would pay amateur guys like $50 and they had to go get their own tests, and they were there because they wanted to be there. They wanted to all cream pie the same pussy. That was their specific kink. And they would like throw professional guys in there every now and then, but it was mostly amateur dudes who just really wanted it. So those I would keep watching those if you want to keep watching them and know for fact that everyone's into it. Now, I think because I've been a performer for so long, my ultimate kink is kind of boring. I like I like sleep porn or subway, like Chikon, I don't know if I'm pronouncing it right, stuff where everyone's packed into a train. And,
Using someone? Using someone?
It's
No, just reading the paper.
it's when everyone's like in a packed area and they start getting felt up and sometimes fucked. I don't like the group ones where it turns into a gangbang situation. I like whenever it's just one girl, one guy, or two girls, and the girl has to be quiet because she's shy and she doesn't want to like make noise, and so but she's like getting finger fucked or maybe even fucked in the train, and she can't move or make noise, or she's asleep or like barely asleep and not really moving around that much. And I think that I have that kink just because I'm so used to performing, and am I opening up enough? Am I talking enough shit? Am I looking good in this position? Do my boobs look okay? Is my ass look okay? Are my bumps? Are my feet pointed? Like I'm just thinking about all these fucking things. So the idea of just I cannot move and I cannot react sounds lovely.
Are you sorry, go ahead.
I was just gonna say I have the same kink, and I think it, especially with women, of having to like be and do certain things, and also like I don't know. I feel like growing up and being the one that wants to make the move or being the more sexually driven person, there's like shame in that. So like the sleeping porn, it's kind of like. Or like massage even, where it's like like you don't have your eyes are shut and you're not moving and you don't have to do anything, and somebody is like doing it, and maybe it's okay, maybe it's not. Like I like that a lot too.
So the thing that's sad for me is I love the fantasy of that, but if that were to actually happen, like if I was taking the subway and it was really packed and some guy just like tried to fucking finger fuck me, I would be pissed. I would make a scene. It would not be great. I've been finger fucked at a club. But it was a swinger club, and I very much wanted it. So I feel like that was a little bit different, and that's like the closest I'm going to get to that fantasy. But yeah, I can't actually do that. I have had somebody hump me while I was sleeping, and I was very pissed off, even though that's like literally my kink. It's just, it's just a fantasy for me. I don't want the reality of it, because the reality is like, it's probably not okay.
Right, yeah. I have that kink because I have essays that are like revolved around that. So doing it in like a safe place, like with a partner or something, is really healing, which I think a lot of like kink work is.
Yeah.
Especially with like if you've been maybe physically abused and like a really rough scene in a very safe environment, like in the kink dungeon or whatever, is probably like so healing, like a year's worth of therapy in an hour.
Honestly.
Yeah, I did a string of kink scenes right after finding out that a friend of mine had passed, and I just told them like just do all of the pain things to me that don't leave bruises, like cattle prod me, whip me, everything.
What's a cattle prod?
Oh, it's an electrical thing.
Oh, okay.
It's what they use on cows to kind of like nudge them where they need to go. It's just a giant shock of electricity. It's over in like a second, but it hurts a lot. So there's like zappers. I'm pretty sure you've seen the red wands that just kind of spark real fast. And then the cattle prod is like that, but bigger and more pain.
So that's like an intense violet wand? Is that the same thing?
Yeah, way more intense, yeah.
Okay.
Like almost like a taser.
Wow.
But for cows. So it's like intense.
Where did they prod you?
I only do it on like the abs, the butt, or the thighs. I stay away from the clit or the nipples. But the last time I did, maybe this was the last cattle prod scene that I did, but it was one of the most memorable. He knew that my hard limit was no cattle prod on my pussy. I knew that he would not violate my limits, but he kept going back and forth between threatening me with the cattle prod on my pussy and giving me the vibrator instead. And I was on my back, so I couldn't really see super well down there what he was doing. I just knew that he had both, and he kept going back and forth between like shocking my thighs, shocking my butt, and like giving me the vibrator. So then he kept like getting the cattle prod close to my pussy and being like, I think you can take it. I think you can take it. And I was just screaming and crying and just letting myself get into the fantasy of, oh my God, he's going to hurt me, even though I know damn well he's not going to. Like, it was fun. It was very therapeutic. Have you ever shot with JP?
JP.
Yeah, John Paul the Pope.
Oh no,
I would
really
love
want
to.
Do it, dude.
I've reached out to him. He hasn't.
I have to.
Do it.
We're not alone.
I'm gonna shoot with him next month. I will show him both of you. But I've never seen his dick, and he's made me come more than any other porn guy.
I love that sentence so much. I love not seeing the dick.
Mm-hmm.
And like there was years where I only got finger blasted because it was just all I needed and wanted, and I didn't want anything to do with a penis. And that sounds great. And his scenes are amazing.
Mm-hmm.
Like he does a really good job.
Yeah, I come best from clit stimulation, and it's really hard to know where to place a vibrator sometimes. Even like with having a clit, I don't always get it right. I try to tell people, like, if I put a vibrator on you, please move it. If I put it in the wrong place, he knows where to put it.
That's
every
insane.
time. And I don't know how, but like I will be tied up. I will not be able to correct him, and I'm also in subby mode, so I'm not going to be like, I know I'm taking orders from you, but can you just? But he'll put it in the exact right place and finger blast me, or like dick on a stick me, and just.
Oh, the dick on the stick looks fun.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
I have this picture of myself. It's John Paul the Pope face fucking me with a dick on the stick, and
Oh,
for some
wow.
reason I think it's really pretty. I saved it. Let me see if I can. So I could show you. But you know, I very much recommend shooting with him because it's therapeutic when you want to be hurt. He knows how to make it scary without making it so like you actually think something wrong is going to happen. And it's just a fun time.
Do you like doming people, Kira?
Oh yeah, it's
You do.
hilarious. I'm not a screamy fuck you pig kind of dom. I'm very much a like I'm gonna tickle you while you're all tied up and then laugh at you because you can't get away.
Oh, I like that. I like that more than
Like a middle school bully dom.
Yeah, like you little greedy slut.
Yeah. Yeah, I never want to be spit on at all.
Really?
How do you guys feel about spit?
I
I'm like,
love spit.
I'm not that
Haven't I
into
spit
it.
on you? In your mouth? Didn't I do
Probably
that?
in the
I'm
DOMs.
sorry.
No,
Yeah.
it's okay. I was like, I'm open to things because sometimes you think you don't like something, and then you're like, you know what?
It hit.
It
in that
hit,
moment.
and yeah. I just don't. I don't know. I can get kind of like germ-minded, and it like ruins the sexy part for me.
You have to make sure that everyone's like brushing their teeth and rinsing out their mouth before the scene and drinking a bunch of water too, so it's not just globby
Yeah.
spit.
Right.
I love sloppy kisses to the point where like my mouth waters when I kiss people, and I have to remind
That's so
myself that it's
hot.
somebody who doesn't like spit on their face to just like swallow extra. So it
Well,
doesn't-
it's like in this state of mind right now, I'm like that I'm not into it. But if I'm like in the zone and like chugging down some dick and there's someone sitting on my face and everything's messy already and we're all sweaty, then like yeah, spit all over me. Like
Nothing's disgusting in that
Nothing's
moment.
disgusting in that
Yeah.
moment. Yeah, of course.
Man, no. Have you ever had like something in a scene where you didn't think that you were gonna like it, but you're okay with doing it, and then as you're doing it, you're like, oh shit, I'm into this.
I haven't had enough like experience period in mainstream porn, but also like experience outside of things that I've already done off camera, you know? So I would love to have that experience of being surprised.
I feel like that's. I love new things so much, and I don't have a lot of turnoffs. That generally that is my experience of sex, which is great.
Are you thinking of something specific?
Feet.
Oh.
I didn't know I was into feet until somebody was like, can you put her foot in your mouth? And I was like, sure, I'm okay with that. And then it was in my mouth and I was like, oh.
Oh my God.
I am discovering things about myself.
Yay. Well, that's
What
one
is it
thing
about
that we
feet?
have in common for sure. I'm a big foot guy.
Do you
Love
have
it.
big feet or do you have small feet?
Schmeeds, I would say.
Schmeeds, yeah, 7.
Hmm.
What about you?
10.
Yes, let's
gigantic
foot
feet.
knock under the
Wow.
table.
I like to like get all 4 toes. The big one is usually out. And then like be like kind of like
Nice.
sucking it like a dick. It's so much fun. I love it.
The first time somebody put my foot in their mouth, I was very surprised because I have large feet and it wasn't like a foot fetish scene. They just did it. It was Dana DeArmond like years ago. I think I was maybe 21 or something like that. And it was a lesbian massage scene. And she just got down there and put not my entire foot, but like the entire first half in her mouth, and then like
Wow.
had me like face fuck her with my foot.
She's freaky.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
What is it like? Like, were you a teenager when you started doing porn?
Yeah, amateur porn. I started when I was 18.
What is
Wow.
it like doing, like, because I just didn't do that stuff so young. I was like, I don't know, I feel like I barely remember that freaking time in my life. And I was just like, you've obviously like grown and changed so much as a person, I know, because you're like very concerned with like ethical behavior. So I'm curious, like, what was it like being so young for you?
At first, I didn't really fully understand the long-term consequences of what I was doing. Right now, I do support the idea of raising the legal porn limit to 21, just because at 18 you're a legal adult, but especially with how the world is now, where you can't really support yourself at 18 unless you already come from a rich family, you already have like a head start. And turning to sex work is an easy way to make some money quick, but it can also fuck up your life for other things if you want to do anything outside of that, like being a teacher, going to medical school, all of that kind of shit. So when I first started, I was stripping, and I was talking to a bunch of strippers on Tumblr, and then I was talking to a bunch of cam girls on Tumblr. I was idolizing Skin Diamond and Stoya, and they got their start on this website called godsgirls.com, which is basically like Suicide Girls. It was just a lot easier to become a Gods Girl. You just had to submit yourself into this forum, and the users on the site voted. If you got 60% of the votes, then you were in. And you just could submit your own sets anytime. So I was doing just photo sets and little solo videos. Then I started getting requests for custom videos. The first ever custom video I did, it was, he wanted me to have two guys laying on a bed covered in a sheet with holes cut in the sheet for their dicks to stick out. And he wanted me to wear this red ribbon choker and just use the dicks and not acknowledge that there were men underneath. Just use the dicks and get both of their cum shots in my face. I think there was also both anal.
What?
And I was doing that.
Curiously put these non-bodied dicks in your butt.
Yeah. And it was fun. It felt exhilarating. Whenever I first started doing sex work, it was just supposed to be I just need money right now kind of thing. I wasn't really making a lot from it. I was kind of just barely scraping by, and I was with an abusive asshole who was taking my money, so I wasn't really keeping a lot of it myself.
He was taking your money?
Yeah, he's a meth head.
Bro, can we talk about this story? Do you want to talk about it?
Oh, yeah, that's fine.
It's okay. Yeah. Kira has this way of like telling me so many stories about her life. I'm like, how have you only lived as long as you have?
I'm almost 30.
Doesn't make any sense. Like, but you've lived the lives of like multiple people. I feel like.
No, when I was 15, I met this dude who was 25. My older sister. Oh my God, this is like a whole long thing. So growing up, I had this older sister. We never got along, like always fighting, like physically fighting, doing crazy shit to each other behind our parents' backs, just really, really bad. She moved away to go live with her biological dad when she was like 16. She became a stripper at 18, met this guy in the club, got pregnant, they decided to get married. His best friend from the military also like got into the picture. Then all three of them were together, where my sister was married and then also dating his friend. They're all cool with it. It was a poly thing. And then they told her, hey, we want to fuck teenagers. And instead of saying,
that's weird.
What the fuck? I'm leaving you. That's weird. She was like, oh, I know one, and contacted me.
It's my sister.
Yeah. And basically told me that being a mother and being a wife changed her, and she was so sorry about how things were when we were growing up. And she wanted to...
She had a kid already.
Yeah, she had just had her baby. So she was like, I want to be a big sister to you. I want to have you in my life and be a family. And I was like, awesome. I want that as well. So she came back home. She brought her boyfriend and her husband. And she was basically like, yeah, all of us can be a family.
Sister wives.
Go be a family with us. And I was like, oh, okay. And then that was that. And the boyfriend decided that he wanted to marry me. And I was like, okay. It seemed like a good idea at the time because I was young and very stupid. And that's what grooming is. So got married to him shortly after I turned 18. He quit his job. I started stripping. And it was just a thing of like, I started
He quit his job?
Yeah.
He said, I have this little...
He just stopped going. And I was working, so it was fine.
Thing to make money for me now.
Yeah.
Fuck.
Wow.
And he liked meth. He told me whenever we were first dating that he liked meth, but he told me that he like was a recovering addict and he was fine now. But then when I was actually around him all of the time is when I realized that he was still very much an addict, not just, yeah. So I started hiding my money, and I had to be really careful about budgeting because I had to like work him somehow finding my money into the budget and still be able to pay our rent and everything.
Wow.
And then when I was 20, I left him, and then I got into porn, and I've been in LA ever since.
What was leaving him like?
It was weird. Because I knew he was a bad person. At this point, I had realized, like, oh, fuck, you're a pedophile. But he was also somebody that I had known for the last 5 years.
Yeah.
And we were living together. We were planning on having kids at some point.
Oh, my God.
So when I finally told him, like, I think I could forgive you being an asshole. I can forgive you stealing my money. I can forgive you being a meth head. I can't get over the fact that you started talking to me when I was 15. Like, I can't. I can't forgive that one.
It's probably the biggest one.
Yeah. So I can't do this anymore. And he begged me not to move out of the townhouse that we had at the time because he was going to be able to afford it on his own. So we were still living together for a little bit after that. And again, I was stupid. I thought that he was going to be looking for his own place. He wasn't. I was just still paying his rent. So then I went out to California. I did porn. I think he thought I wasn't going to be able to go through with it. Because when I started texting him, I was like, yeah, I just got done with my first scene. Everything went great, blah, blah, blah. He was really pissed. And he was like, you're just a whore. You're just a used up whore now, blah, 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 blah. And that was kind of a weird breaking point for me. Because I got to the first one of like, oh, fuck, you like kids. That's weird. And I don't want to be with you. To like, this is just never going to be okay. Like, you're just never, I don't need to take care of you. And once he started calling me a whore, I was like, okay, if you have a big problem with me being a whore now at this point, I guess you don't need my whore money. So I went back to St. Louis and I got all my stuff out of that place and I moved in with a friend and that was it.
Wow. And then porn, like, helped you kind of get out of that.
Oh yeah, because
too.
then I finally had my own money. Like that was the first time I had my own money. I went insane with it for a while. I should have saved it, but I didn't because I was just like, oh my god, I can do whatever I want with this.
And you've expressed that you thought you were probably going to die.
Oh yeah,
as well.
I was emo kid, so I really didn't think I was going to make it this far.
Yeah.
Ricky said something similar.
I feel this. I always felt like I was going to die young.
Just not thinking about the future type of shit.
Yeah. No.
No, it's weird. Whenever you don't think that you have that many opportunities and you're just like, fuck it, I'll just ball until I go, I guess.
Yeah.
Then you like get to a certain point where it's like, I'm not dying.
Fuck.
Okay, I guess I'm here. I'm gonna make plans and shit.
Yeah, it's so trippy. You have a lot more time than you think, I guess. Life is long, but yet so short. Where did you grow up?
Nashville, Tennessee.
We ask an hour in. I love it.
I know.
It has been chaotic.
Oh shit, has
No,
it been
I
an
love
hour?
it.
It's almost our time. We have like four minutes.
I need to go ahead and start wrapping up now because I gotta go fuck a nice lady.
You're gonna be drowning in pussy today.
I really
Literally.
it's
and then you get to go to a haunted house. That's so cute.
No, I'm really happy that my life is going like this. It's really stressful because I have a lot to do, but I feel like out of all of the stressful things that I could have, like, oh no, I have to fuck all these hot girls today.
Well, this has been such an honor and such a pleasure to talk to you.
It's
and
literally felt like we've been here for 5 minutes.
I know. This has been like the fastest feeling hour in the studio ever.
Well, thank you so much for doing this with me. I really was like looking forward to this.
Yay.
Yay! You did so great. Wait, can we ask you one quick last question?
Yeah, of course.
Do you want to ask it, Susie?
Okay. How do you feel about being like encapsulated with your content and kind of like immortalized a little bit in online forever?
Because you're very online forever.
You're very online forever.
It's weird because, like, think about the year you were born. Can you name any of the porn stars from that era? And that was back when, you could only get porn from so many places. There were only so many studios and things like that. Everyone had to pay for their porn. So when a porn star was a porn star in like the 90s or the early 2000s, they were a porn star, like a celebrity. You got like Jesse Jameson, stuff like that. But now the market's way oversaturated. So somebody could be really, really big in the moment, but maybe in like 5 years, no one's going to remember who they are. Like there are some people that I started with where I was like, oh my God, they're the pinnacle of porn. And now when I talk to new OnlyFans creators, and I'm like, yeah, you know this person right here. And they're like, I have no idea who that is.
Yeah, me. So, every time I'm like,
yeah. So I think that it's really awesome that I'm doing what I'm doing now. But I really feel like once I stop, like in 5 years, I'm probably going to just fade away into obscurity. Or if I'm one of the people that's long lasting, that's going to be really fucking weird because there's times now, like I have a hard time looking at professional porn because like there are people who die after a while. Like the longer you live, the more you see your friends dying. And sometimes I'm just watching a porno and then the face drops into the camera view and I'm like, he's dead. That sucks.
Gives me chills.
So that might happen. And I think that if I do end up dying fairly younger, like if something happens like an accident or something like that and my friends are still doing porn, they're going to experience that. So that's interesting. But I don't know. I don't think that I'm going to be forever online. I don't think that it's really possible anymore to be a big enough porn star where people are going to remember you like a decade from now, 20 years from now, 30 years from now, anything like that.
That's fucking crazy to think about.
Yeah, it is. I think that you'll be very well remembered for all of eternity.
I think I just want to be in Wikipedia. And I want when people look up, like
you don't have a Wikipedia?
No, I was researching, and yeah.
I want a Wikipedia page, and I want when somebody goes down a rabbit hole of porn shit one day, they'll see like, oh, the first black porn star to host the AVN Awards. It was Kira. Huh, look at that. And just like, that's what I want for my legacy. Just, I want somebody to be going down a rabbit hole of bullshit someday, and I'm just a part of that.
And they're like, the first and last Black person to ever host the AVN Awards.
It's not going to be last.
Hopefully not last.
They have yet to announce the host. Maybe they'll do it. We'll see. Wait, no, they did announce it. It's Bella and somebody
nice.
this year. Yeah.
I can't wait.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
It's
that'll
on
be
my
nice.
birthday.
Yay!
Right.
Oh my god. Yeah. Okay. Great. I'm so excited.
I love you.
I do
That'll
have
be
to.
great.
Yeah, you gotta go, I know.
Thank you
Yeah.
so much for coming.
Thank you so
really
much for having
appreciate
me.
it.
Okay,
Yes.
I was